Seeing people progress from where they started to where they are now, it's a beautiful thing to see. That's the most important part for me training, is that you gotta love it. Like, you can't just do it for the money. Because anyone could go in there and do it for the money, but you gotta go in there with a passion for it. Like, I go in there every day, I'm like, I wanna help these people. Like, I wanna make them get to their goals.
What's your 5-year vision?
In 5 years, I do wanna have my own gym. So I wanna open up my own facility and have my own thing, because I love Lifetime, but I do wanna open up my own business myself.
Where? Dope Live, another episode of Adversity Kings. We have special guests today from my gym. Interested in starting podcasting yourself?
Yes, sir.
Rafael.
Yes, sir.
Right? What's your last name?
Diaz.
Rafael Diaz. Awesome. So have you thought about the name of the podcast?
Well, the name of the podcast, I'm still in the works of it, but I want to be similar to what my gamer tag was when I was playing Call of Duty all the time. So my gamer tag was Zero Cardin. So I kind of want to bring it into that environment just so I can bring back my memories of the gaming days. So I kind of want to do like zero talk. So it's going to be like zero talk. So it's going to be like podcast. So it'll be like zero things of like, I don't know, kind of want to make it interesting to anybody. It could be zero of anything. I don't care what you want to bring it to the table. Zero, like anything, you know? So that's kind of like I'm thinking about right now. Zero talk.
So what got you interested in wanting to do podcasting?
Oh man, the biggest thing is like I love talking to people. Like once I get going with somebody, like I've had so many conversations at the gym, for example, that I'm talking to someone, I'm like, dude, this could be a podcast right here. Because I'll be literally an hour in conversation. I'm like, we should have recorded this. Like this could be great. You know?
Absolutely. And so when you think of the podcasting, what's kind of like the intent behind it? Is it a space to create for you to just record and go back, or like are you looking to impact the audience with just genuine conversation, or is there like any intention of like, do you have a direction?
So for me, biggest thing is I want to be impactful with people. You know, because I listen to other podcasts all the time, you know, and anytime I hear it, I always get some message out of it. So I always want to leave a message out there to anybody who's listening to better themselves in some way. Like I just want to make a positive impact to the world in any shape or form.
What's your favorite podcast?
Right now, I had to say Raw Talk.
Okay, what's that about?
Raw Talk, it's Bradley Martin's podcast. And he brings in guests all the time. And he's always talking about self-improvement. He's always talking about how to get better himself in the gym in life. And he just brings up great topics all the time, you know? That's
dope. Well, we should have gave you a script so you would have said this podcast. Honestly.
No, I love this podcast too, man. Like I saw you guys like 2 months ago. I was just scrolling on TikTok and I was like, wait a second, I know this guy. I'm like, it's Tristan, you know? And I'm just like, I see this guy every day at the gym, you know? I'm like, I see him grinding, and I've seen you before, like always like just talking to people at the gym. And then that got me interested. I'm like, I need to talk to this guy, you know? Like I need to get into this thing, you know?
That's dope. So I just run my mouth in front of a camera, but Aiden, he does everything behind the scenes. And then I just yell at everybody to hurry up and put it out there. So, but they do everything. All Caps Media. I always like to plug them in. They do all my media. Aiden Hilm on IG. He does everything. Phenomenal work. Puts up with me, which deserves $1 million. So in and of itself. And then what about? So Zero Talk would be the name of the podcast. What about? Let's start with. Before we jump into everything else I want to get into, do you have anything you want to plug in? I want to do that in the beginning of our podcast. Because bigger podcasts, people will watch all the way through. But I don't know how many people are watching this all the way through. So anything you want to plug in, anybody you want to shout out before we dive in a little more? I want to give a shout out to the whole Lifetime team, you know? Like everyone there, from operations to the cafe, to the trainers, to front desk. Like everyone, you know everyone there. Everyone's grinding there, you know? Everybody's grinding. Everyone's on the grind mode there. So I want to give a big shout out to them, you know? And shout out to you also for letting me be on the podcast, you know? It's a pleasure.
It's a big thing. Like thank you a lot. You know, it's a big moment, you know?
Absolutely. So let's dive into your life. So where were you born and raised? So I was born and raised here in Cicero, Illinois. And I've been there. I'm still there right now. And growing up, I used to be, let's say, I wasn't like the best kid growing up, you know? So I would go through like adversity. I've been through adversaries, you know? And I've gone through things that's helped me get to where I am today. So let's start with, before we get into the adversity, where are your parents from and what did they do?
So they're both from the same town in Mexico. And they didn't meet until my dad, he moved to California first. And then my mom was already here in Chicago. And then my dad had to move over here to Chicago for work. And then they met here like in 1980 something. And they got married. And me and my brother, so I have an older brother. And Yeah, that's how it started.
How old are you guys?
I'm 24. He's 27.
Okay, awesome. When's your birthday?
January 21st.
Let's go. Let's go. So you're turning 25?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. I'm turning 24 in 15 days.
Okay, let's go.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
So now your parents, what did they do growing up, raising you guys? So when you were growing up, what were their jobs and what are they doing now?
Yeah, so growing up, my dad, he was working in maintenance. So he would go to buildings downtown. He still works there today, but he's a manager now.
Okay.
And he would just clean up the buildings, make sure everything's set up nicely, Yeah. My mom, she worked at a factory, factory job, just making sure everything was set with the machinery and everything like that.
Yep.
And she'll also work sometimes with my dad. So she'll do like double shifts. So she'll work from like 4 a.m. to 2 and then get an hour break to get lunch and change. And then she'll go with my dad.
Wow.
So she would just go grind literally all day long.
So, and then what's your brother do now?
My brother, so he's a meteorologist now.
Wow.
So he works in California. He's in LA right now.
Okay.
And he works with the whole Monterey Bay area.
Oh, wow.
And he gets all the weather out to the whole California state.
That's dope. So who were you closest with growing up?
Like my mom or dad?
Yeah, or anybody.
Yeah. I say closest would be probably my uncle. My uncle, he helped me out a lot with just like growing up,
Yeah.
Because my parents weren't always there because of work, obviously, So I would always hang out with my uncle. He would always like play with soccer with us, just show me how to work out when I was young.
Yeah.
So I guess he would be like the one I was close to.
What's he do now?
So right now, he's about to retire, but he also does maintenance too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Down in the city?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what were some monumental moments in your childhood, kind of going up all the way up into high school, and then we'll kind of cover high school up until now?
Yeah. I still remember this to this day. My 8th birthday, I remember this is the best birthday ever. I don't remember really why, but I remember when I was 8 years old, my mom brought me home an Xbox. So that's kind of like, boom. That was like, the moment is still in my head. I can't remember.
360?
The 360, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I remember I had it in my hand. Me and my brother, like, oh my God, it's an Xbox. Ah.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the biggest memories. And from there, that helped me. Like, I just saw my mom like give it to me. I'm like, she grinded for like, even in my head, I was like, I was young, but I didn't know what it meant. Yeah. But I was just like, she got this for me. And like, I know what she had to go through to get this.
Bro, growing up.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, growing up, Xboxes were like the 360s. Really, any gaming system. Both my parents went away. And so my mom raised us and single mother, 2-3 jobs, grinding just like your parents. And I don't think I got my first 360 until I was 14, maybe 14 or 15 in between there. And I was like so, mesmerized and just dumbfounded. And I was like, that 360 is Call of Duty and all that, GTAs and all that shit. That was legit.
Yeah.
So what else was happening?
Yeah, so my community growing up wasn't the best community, There's a lot of like, gang violence, stuff like that, drugs going around, So I was always like, my parents were always very strict on me.
Yes.
So like, don't go outside, like, don't do this, don't do that. Yeah, and at the time, I was like, oh, why? Like, I want to go outside, I want to do this. But now looking back, I'm like, they were just protecting me. They're making sure that I wasn't getting into the wrong things,
Yeah.
So growing up, I wasn't really like that into like being with other people. I was kind of myself, just learning, just being on my own. So that's kind of like got into my adulthood. I'm just like, I'm okay with being by myself. Like, I'm not really used to being like hanging out with big groups of people. I'm kind of like a loner, like kind of like doing my own thing, get my things done and call it a day,
Yeah. So as you get into high school, what are you like at that point, and how was your high school experience?
In high school, that was a fun time. I started off first, I was a very shy guy.
Yes.
I would not want to talk to anyone, anything.
Yeah.
And my mom and dad are like, go do some sports.
Okay.
All right, just go ahead. And I was okay. I was like, all right, I'm okay with soccer. Let's try it out. First tryouts, and I made the soccer team my freshman year.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'm pretty good at this. But at the time, I was pretty skinny. I was probably like 120 pounds or something like that. So I was like, all right, guys, I got to start bulking up a little bit, So I started working out little by little. And then my experience with that, as I got into wrestling, they started getting me to the mindset of like the grind. So my freshman year, I did soccer, wrestling, and that was it. And then following that into my sophomore year, I started doing cross country, wrestling, and track. So I kind of let go of soccer just because I had more of a shot to make it into a like state or make it into a national championship with running, because I was a really good runner.
Yes.
And running was kind of like getting into my passion.
Yes.
I just didn't know it at the time. And that really changed my trajectory of life and how I thought about things. Because running and wrestling, honestly, the hardest things you could do. It's all mental game. It's all it is.
Yeah.
And like, once you start pushing yourself to it, you're like, why am I doing this? That's how you know, all right, now you're starting your workout. Once you get to that point, like, why am I doing this? Like, nope, now you're going to start.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to go in there, just do a couple sets of reps, and I'm going to do like 10-minute jogging. Nah, it's not it. You got to get to that point where it's like, all right, I don't want to do this anymore, but no one else is going to do it, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So that helped me out. And then going to my junior year, I got a couple injuries, so it slowed me down a little bit. But me and my teammates, we made it to the Foot Locker National Championships. We made it to the Nike Regionals. We didn't qualify for the finals, but we kind of got almost close to there. So that's kind of a big accomplishment for us.
Absolutely.
And senior year, same thing. We almost made it, but we just didn't make the final push to it. But yeah.
Did you wrestle all 4 years?
Just my first 2 years.
First 2 years?
Yeah.
And so what was your biggest accomplishments in high school?
My biggest accomplishment would definitely be making it to sectionals for cross country and track. And then we'll be graduating close, not like at the top of my class, but like getting close to my top of my class. Yeah. Because starting off high school, I wasn't the best kid. Yeah. I wouldn't care about school, you know? So my final 2 years, I finally made a push. I'm like, all right, I'm going to drive myself. I'm going to do this because I want to do this, you know? Mm-hmm. So I got close to getting into that top half of the class. So that was a big accomplishment for me. Yeah. And then accepting my first college acceptance letter. So I had a couple offers to run, and I decided to go to UIC to go run in college.
Yeah, where's that?
And here in Chicago.
So what's UIC, University
of Illinois, Chicago.
Illinois, Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Is that right in the city?
Yes.
So do you have a favorite like endurance runner? Anybody that you looked up to or anything like that inspired you?
Galen Rupp.
Galen Rupp?
Yeah.
Where's he or
He's a USA runner.
Okay.
So he's probably one of the best marathon runners like for the USA ever.
Yeah.
And obviously like I was like wanting to be like him. Like, that was my goal. Like, oh, I want to be like Galen. I want to be like him. Yeah. You know? And at the time, I'm like, running was everything. Yeah. You know, like I wanted to be the best runner ever. And I watched Galen run his marathon races all the time. And I remember in 2016 or 2017, he came to the Chicago Marathon and I was volunteering. Yeah. So I volunteered that race. And I was at the finish line watching all the marathon runners finish up. And like I saw these guys coming in. And I'm like, I want to do that. Yeah. So in 2017, I ran my first marathon. And in 2018, I ran my second marathon.
Now, does he make a living just from being a marathon runner?
So he has sponsorships, you know, but for the most part, it's all sponsorship based. It's just being a marathon runner isn't like his bread and butter.
Okay, I was going to say that. I don't know if you can live off of.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about for the running and building up that endurance? So Galen Rupp was like probably more of the influential people or person that influenced you with running. Then, right? Yeah. So I know I follow this one dude on Instagram. He's really cool, Cameron Haynes.
I've heard of him.
He's always running, dude. Yeah. But he does more of like the ultra marathons, and he's a hunter. So he more so does it for like that backwood hunting where he's just trekking and hiking all through the woods. It's really sick. It's really dope.
I've seen him before.
David Goggins, you guys.
I was about to talk to him about him too. Yeah. David Goggins going to college. He changed my mindset a lot in college. Yeah. Because he's like, in college, I thought I was like top notch. Oh, I'm going to walk in here. I'm going to be like the best in the block. No, I got humbled real quick. Yeah. I was like, I'm nothing. So I got to be like, all right, I need more motivation. I need some more drive. Watching him gave me that drive.
Right?
Yeah.
So did you watch him all through college to help you?
Every day.
So what was the college experience like then?
My college experience, I was a commuter. So it'll be about 2 hours every day. So 1 hour to get on the train and the bus to school, 1 hour get on the train and the bus back to home. Yeah. And I will be at school. Anyone watching this, of all my friends, they could fact check this. I was there at 6:30 a.m. every day, and I would leave at 1 or 2 a.m. every day. Wow. And I would get back home, sleep, repeat every day. I will be there all day long, doing my homework, studying, working out. Yeah. One or the other.
Wow. Yeah. And so how quickly did you get through school then?
4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
And so you have a bachelor's in what?
I have a bachelor's degree in kinesiology, exercise science.
Okay, awesome. And so what was there anything monumental in the college experience that kind of helped formulate you and make you who you are?
Yeah, definitely would be when I stopped running completely. So my first 2 years I was running still, and running was my biggest like life accomplishment. Like I'm a runner. That was like my identity. Yeah. And then once I gave up running, I had to figure out who am I now? Yeah. And that was like my next step. Like, what do I want to do? What do I want to be? Who would I want to be? You know? Mm-hmm. And I remember sitting down we have a little room in UIC. It's called ASAP. Mm-hmm. And right there you could do like all your homework. You get help with the professors, whatever. I was sitting there doing my homework, and I'm just like, what am I going to do in the next 5 years? Like, what am I really going to do? Like, what is this degree going to help me with, you know? And with that kind of changed my mindset to like, all right, I need to start looking into how I'm going to change myself. What am I going to do to help myself in the future? Yeah. And that kind of changed my moment, like my whole life.
So you graduate college, and then what's your life look like from graduating up until now?
Yeah, so funny thing, when I graduated college, it was in the middle of COVID. Okay. So that last semester, it was all online. Okay. So graduating from college, I'm kind of like still we're all locked down and everything. Couldn't really do much. So I started working at UPS because UPS was UPS was the only place I was hiring. Yeah. So I was like, all right, let's do it. Why not? And then from there, I was there for about 5-6 months, and then I was like, all right, I'm tired of this. I'm like, I can't do this no more. And I was just looking at Indeed and LinkedIn and everything.
Were you a loader or an unloader?
I was a loader.
Yeah, I was a loader.
A loader's fun, right?
I don't know.
It's fun time.
I worked there like 2 years, so that shit's draining. I don't know how it is out here, but
it's not fun.
In Pittsburgh, it was hot trailers, 53-foot trailers, and you just get yelled at all day to load faster.
Yeah, basically how it goes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I was like, 2 years of that was nuts.
Yeah, I know. Respect to that.
Yeah.
6 months, I'm like, I'm tired of this.
Yeah, bro. That's insane. That respect to because they're union. So respect the people that have been there 20, 30 years. There's so many people there that have been there 20, 30 years. Mm-hmm. And they're just that old union soul. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, I earned my way, son. Enjoy it. Yep. That was my reminiscing feeling of UPS. Yeah. So what were you saying after UPS?
Yeah, so I was looking at Indeed and LinkedIn, and I found Lifetime. That's where I found Lifetime at the time, and they weren't hiring personal trainers yet because they kind of already had like their set group. Yep. So I just had to get my foot in the door. So then I applied to work in the cafe. Yeah. So I started off at the cafe, and then that's where I got my supervisor role, and I was there as a supervisor for the first 4 months of the cafe. Yeah. When we first opened. And that's where I started meeting you. Yeah. I started meeting all your guys there and everyone. I started meeting people, just being in the cafe, being friendly.
How long has it been open? 2 years?
It's been a year now, dude.
Lifetime?
Yeah, since last April, 2021.
Wow, that is true because I worked out at the UFC gym my first year here because I moved here October of 2020 and opened my business essentially January 2021. Mm-hmm. So January, you said it opened?
April
of 2021? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for almost a whole year, October till April, I was working out at the UFC gym. Nice. And so I've basically somewhat known you since the existence of Lifetime. Yeah. A year and a half?
Year and a half now, about.
Wow. That's insane. So you worked your way up, got your foot in the door, and then after being a supervisor in the cafeteria, what opportunity was presented to you next?
Yeah, so I was just talking to Brian. He's the PT manager there. Yeah. And I told him like...
Which one's Brian?
Brian's a super tall guy with the glasses.
I thought that was Matt.
No, so he's the one with the short hair, not the long hair.
Who's the super tall guy with short hair?
Short hair, dark short hair, glasses. Usually comes in around 9 o'clock.
Is he the buff black dude?
No, not him. Okay. No. You'll see Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, he usually teaches Alpha on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock if you guys want to come in. Yeah. Alpha 9 o'clock.
Alpha sounds hard. Yeah. I've done one of the Warrior Sculpteds. Oh, yeah. And I feel like if Alpha's like a faster pace than that, I will die.
Yeah, Alpha's a fun class, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I know what you're talking. Alpha's upstairs where they take up all the squat racks.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my least favorite.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start talking to Brian, and then how's that go?
Yeah, so I tell Brian, like, hey, Brian, like, are you guys looking for trainers right now? Like, I have my degree in kinesiology, exercise science, He's like, oh, I didn't know that about you. He's like, yeah, right now we're not looking for anyone. But once we get the next round of hires, like...
Put you on a wait list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just had to wait it out, really.
Okay.
That's all it was.
So how long was the wait?
It was about a month and a half. Yeah.
A month and a half?
Yeah, about, yeah.
Okay, so you're 7 months in, and now you've been almost, 7 months as a trainer? 7, 8 months?
8? No, actually, no, it's been a year now.
Almost a year?
A year, yeah.
How's that been going?
It's been great. It's been a great experience, honestly. Like, I love it there, It's a good time, good people. Yeah. And my clients, I love them so much. Yeah. Like, seeing people progress from where they started to where they are now. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing to see. That's the most important part for me in training, is that you got to love it. Yeah. Like, you can't just do it for the money. Yeah. Because anyone could go in there, do it for the money. But you got to go in there with a passion for it. Like, I go in there every day. I'm like, I want to help these people. Yeah. Like, I want to make them get to their goals. Yeah. Because it's important. Because people need goals in their life. Yeah. Because if you don't have any goals in your life, it's like, what are you doing? Yeah. You're just kind of drifting through the wind,
So do you more specialize on the exercise, or do you have, like, nutrition advice that you give them as well?
For me, it's more on the exercise. Okay. I'm trying to get more into the nutrition side. Yeah. But right now, it's more the exercise and the lifestyle. Okay. So trying to help their lifestyle changes and their exercise changes.
So where do you feel most passionate when it comes to the exercising? Is there anything specific, like details or things that you feel like puts you, like, what makes you more unique? Why would somebody want to work with you?
For me, it'll be my attention to detail to what they want. Yeah. So a lot of times trainers come in and they're like, all right, we're going to do this and that. They don't really listen to what the person wants to do. So for me, I'm like, I listen, I curate what they want, and then I listen to what they're doing outside of life too. Because a lot of times they can't come in like every single day. Yeah. Like, I know a lot of people can, like you, obviously you can come in every day. Yeah. But a lot of people, like, they have things going on in their life.
Obligations.
Exactly. And I tell them, like, all right, I'm going to give you homework to do. So I give them homework. Like, all right, I want you to do this. And I'm going to check up on you. Like, did you do your homework? Yeah. So I'm always kind of like checking up on them, making sure they're doing things, and just make sure that they're happy with what they're doing, you know?
Yeah. What's your 5-year vision?
In 5 years, I do want to have my own gym. Yeah. So I want to open up my own facility, have my own thing, because I love Lifetime, but I do want to open up my own business myself.
Yeah. Where?
Definitely, it would have to be in Texas or Florida.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why Texas or Florida?
Just because, for one, taxes. You know, taxes are very low there, and you can open up a business easier. Yeah. You know, compared to here in Illinois, and the market there is just huge. You know, people love fitness in those areas. You know, like here in Illinois, it's a big community still, but the market in Florida or Texas is just like you could go anywhere. Like, oh, I want to do fitness, and it's just there. You know.
Yeah. So, what about outside of career? What's the 5 years look like? So obviously living in Texas, but is there any family and monetary vision? How much money, cars, anything like that?
Yeah. So for me, in 5 years, I don't plan on being married yet. You know, I'm still kind of young. And for that, I would say if I am in a relationship by then, you know, I'll be happy with it. But I would want to be with somebody that's also driven and they want to make their own living, you know?
Yes.
I don't kind of want to be like up here and she's like down here. I want to be leveled. You know? We both got to be driven. We both got to want to make something out of something, you know?
Yes.
And for cars and stuff, I'm not really big on like having supercars. You know, me, I'm a classic. If I have my Mustang, I'm happy. Yeah. You know, I'm okay with that.
I love old classic cars.
Exactly.
Too.
Yeah.
67.
Yes, sir.
Mustang, shit like that. That shit's hard.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about now adversities? You were talking about you've gone through many adversities. What's the hardest adversity you've gone through up into this current moment in your life?
The hardest one definitely would have to be being on. So in college, you kind of like put on this list of like watch because of like your grades and like stuff wasn't like working out. So my first 2 years of college, I was like not putting in the effort I had to put in for school.
Yeah.
I was kind of just focusing on just like my well-being, like working out and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was letting my grades like drop.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with my counselor. She's like, look, if you don't get your grades up, you're going to kick you out of the program.
Yeah.
You know, and at that point, it was kind of like my rock bottom. And I was just like, what am I doing? Like, how do I get out of this? Like, what life changes do I have to do, you know? And from there, I cut off people that I had to cut off. I stopped doing things that were bad for me. And I just put full throttle into just my schoolwork and just my working out. And that's kind of like the hardest thing for me because like a lot of people, they can't cut off those like toxic people in their life. And that's something that everyone needs to do. Just cut them off so it's for your betterment, basically.
Yeah. So you overcome, obviously, the adversity of I'm at rock bottom. I might potentially lose my, future career building opportunity by utilizing your educational, obviously college and such. But so from moving into that into where you're at now, how has that helped shift maybe your perspective?
Yeah. So anytime I talk to anybody, I always think of like, all right, what are they talking to me about? Yeah. You know, like I go into conversation with people always with an open mind. Like, okay, what could this person bring to the table? You know, and if they're just gossiping, if they're just talking smack about other people, I'm like, all right, I don't really want to keep you around. Yeah. You know, it's like, I don't really care, you know? Yeah. But if I'm talking to someone and they're talking to me about their business, talking to me about their vision, I'm like, okay, this is someone I want in my life, you know?
Like Jorge.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. The Jorge, every time I talk to him, it's a 2-hour conversation. Yeah. Every time.
Yeah, I gotta be careful sometimes. Yeah, I get sucked in and I'll be showing back up to the office late. So, but I completely agree, man. I think a lot of people don't take into consideration of like you've got to eliminate toxicity within your control. You know what I mean? And so it's like if it's within your control, sometimes you can't control your environment, but you can always control your mind. Yes. And so your participation and how you perceive and allow these thoughts to ultimately be created in your mind, and then where they go from there. You know, it's like you can extinguish the thoughts or you can participate and entertain negativity or excessive emotions. You know what I mean? I posted something today in regard to just having emotional control, because if you don't, whatever has emotional control over you is your master. You know what I mean? It's in control of you. I think a lot of people, they don't realize that, and they don't leverage it where you can utilize emotional stability and emotional control. You have to. If you don't stabilize and utilize it for your advantage, it will destabilize your life and it will take advantage of you and your life.
I agree.
And you see that in everybody. You know what I mean? It's either people have control or they don't have control, and then they make, reactive decisions to temporary emotions, and then it creates permanent results that they're stuck in. It's like you're stuck in this life now.
That's the one. That's the part right there that you're stuck in. I've seen it too many times with my friends from back in the day that they get stuck in a situation because they allowed themselves to because of their emotions, and they're still stuck there to this day.
Yeah.
And they think that it's perfectly fine. But it's like, brother, like, it's not.
No.
You know?
Not
it's not
fine.
Yeah.
You're going to ruin your life.
Literally.
So, yeah, bro. Dope. So what about hobbies outside of your life right now? What do you like to do just to stimulate your mind and make you feel good?
I started reading a lot more.
Yeah?
Yeah. Reading
self-help or fiction? What do you like?
Self-help. Yeah.
You have a favorite book so far?
Right now, it would be David Goggins' book.
Yeah. I got it back there. Can't Hurt Me?
Can't Hurt Me, yep.
Yep, great book.
Yep. Started reading that one again. And I also have read Gary Vee's book as well.
Which one? Crash Chatterbox?
Crash Chatterbox, yeah.
Great book.
That one, yes.
Give.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? Anything on the radar?
Right now, I have a new book called Light Arc.
Yeah.
That one's kind of like a fiction book. You know, it's kind of like a Harry Potter style. You know, I love Harry Potter growing up too.
Yeah.
And I just want to read that one just to have a different, like, you know, stimulation.
Let's talk about movies. So you loved Harry Potter. What else?
Marvel.
All Marvel.
All
same.
Marvel, yeah.
Yeah.
DC too, though. I love DC.
I have a very low standard when it comes to movies. Like I like pretty much like all action movies. My buddy sent me a TikTok yesterday of them closing out Phase 4 of Marvel with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, right?
Yes,
so are you excited about that?
I am. I really want to see these movies because growing up, I remember watching the first Iron Man with my dad, and I'm just like, where has this gone now?
Yeah.
I just look at it, I'm like, where are we now with these movies? I'm like, I remember someone told me that Marvel Universe is the most expensive TV show of all time.
Yeah.
Because every episode is a movie.
Yes.
You know? So every time I see it, I'm like, all right, I want to see what's coming up next. My biggest thing is, how long can they keep this up?
Right.
You know, like,
well, they got at least up until Phase 6, and that'll take us up until like early 2025.
I know. That's crazy, dude.
Some of the movies and everything coming out, I'm really excited.
Me too.
More Avengers movies and shit like that. So the Thunderbolts, I saw that. I was rewatching Thor. Last night. Did you like Thor: Love and Thunder?
It was okay.
Yeah.
I gave it like a 7.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I think it was a little too cheesy.
It was
like comical. Like I like more of like but I mean, with Disney involved, I guess you got it. They have to somewhat appease to like so they can hit a wider range of audience. But I don't know, dude. I really like that like really gory, like the you watch The Boys?
The Boys, I have not.
On Amazon Prime, you gotta watch The Boys, dude.
I watched it.
It's so good.
Yeah,
it's so good. That's kind of like more so like what I like for super, like just a raw like I want to see like just blood and gore.
Well, that's kind of why I like DC though.
Yeah, DC's a little more dark, rough. Yeah, absolutely. How'd you like Morbius?
I was kind of 50-50 about it.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of liked it.
You did? Okay. I mean, it's good. Yeah.
I was telling you,
you like it, yeah.
But I have low movie standards. Yeah. So all Marvel. What else? Marvel, DC. Anything else?
Star Wars.
Love Star Wars.
Like I have a Lego set in my room. I have the X-wing and I have the Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
In my room.
I'm gonna have to get that. They just sound fucking awesome.
Like, oh my god, I have so many little ones too. I'm just like, I don't even know where I have them anymore, but they're probably in my basement somewhere.
Yeah.
But I remember building the Star Destroyer. Took me 4 days.
Yeah.
Because I would be like fixing it up and then, I messed it up. I got to do it again. I got to put it back together. It's like a whole like.
Yeah.
It's fun because your brain's like, oh my God, I'm building something, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I love about Legos.
Yeah.
Legos are like my favorite thing to do ever.
Yeah. So that's like a mental stimulation for you. I like chess. I feel like I would get into like puzzles or something. Legos, I don't think I'd have the patience. I would want them built.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like for me. Like
that's the fun part. Having them built already.
Yeah, having them built already. That's kind of like when people just want the outcome at the gym, but they don't want to go through the workout. Like that's the best part. You know what I mean? Is like that suffering, and then it's days later and it's very micro in the gym. People don't realize it's more so diet and nutrition. That's more of the macro, but. Yeah, that's the best part is the suffering. I think a lot of people, so it's like, but me, no, I'm not going to suffer for the Legos. But but they're dope. They're absolutely dope.
You know, with chess, you should probably play a game with Chase.
Which one's Chase?
Chase, he's the bigger guy, redhead.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's good at chess?
He's claiming he's the best at chess.
Yeah?
So if you want
to have to ask Tommy.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to see.
Yes.
I'm going to have everybody there. Do you guys do anything like team building or anything like that outside of work, or is it everybody like?
Actually, we do.
Now, when you're trainers, is it you make your own schedule, or is there set times you guys have to be there?
There's set times, but you can adjust your schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That's dope. Because I always see like sometimes like people pop in, pop out. I'm like, I wonder if they have like a set schedule and then like how that works.
Yeah, so you have a set schedule. Yeah. But let's say like someone wants to come in at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
But you're here from 6 to 2. All right, just clock out an hour early, come back later, clock in that hour, and boom.
Okay.
You're good.
Dope. So back into movies, do you have a favorite show? Any favorite shows?
Oof, favorite show. That's a tough one, man. For me, it would have to be That 70s Show.
That 70s Show?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good show.
I would love that one.
Anything new? Like no new shows?
New shows.
Stranger Things? Anything like that?
Stranger Things is amazing.
Yeah.
I love Stranger Things.
Fire show.
Stranger Things, I remember I watched it before everyone got into the hype.
For real?
I was watching it, and I remember no one was watching it back in I think it was 2016 when it first came out.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it, and no one talked about it.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, this is a good show. Yeah. And then a couple years later, everyone's talking about it. I'm like, oh, look at that. Yeah. You know? Everyone like kind of the bandwagon, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So outside of movies, Legos, is there anything else like hobbies or things that you like that like just stimulate your mind that you have a passion for?
Yeah, definitely be photography.
Photography?
Yeah, I was kind of telling Aiden earlier that I was kind of like really looking into like getting a camera, starting to do like the podcasting and everything.
Yes, you're gonna have to.
Like I love doing like videos. Like I make little TikToks too. Yeah. And I love making TikToks too. Like they're just so fun. Like people say, oh, it's cringy, whatever. I don't really care.
Yeah, no.
You know, like I like making them because I could test my skills with like how to use a camera. Yeah. You know, what angles to use. Like how to get these shots. And like it's cool to me. You know, that's what I like to do as well.
And you can document for yourself.
Exactly.
It's gonna be so cool to look back 10 years from now and just have like a documentary you've created.
Right.
You know, just going back, and I always check my memories on my social media platforms just to see, you know, where I've come and in comparison to where I was, and seeing, you know, where can I do better, where have I done better, where have I done worse, and it's really cool. You know what I mean? Especially to see yourself just physically grow. It's like, man, you look like a kid back then. It's like, you know, and I'll probably think the same thing 5 years from now. So it's all really cool and unique. What about favorite foods or restaurants?
Definitely for favorite foods, it's a little pizza place by my hometown Cicero. It's called Paisan's Pizza. Yeah. That place, spot on. I can say, without a doubt, best pizza in the country.
Paisan Pizza?
Paisan's Pizza.
I'm going to put it in my notes. I hear every person I have on has a different place. Yeah. So we're going to have to get to the bottom of this.
You got to go there, man. I've been going there for years. I've been to different states, had pizza in different states. Nothing comes close.
How do you spell it?
P-A-I-S-A-I-N-S.
P-A-S-S-I?
P-A-I.
Oh, P-A-I? S?
A-I. Paisans.
A-I. Okay. All right. Paisan Pizza. What else? Anything else you love? Think that's amazing?
Definitely. Oof. What was the name of this place? It's right by UIC. It's this little burger place. Little burger hot dog place. Oh my God, I can't remember the name right now. It's right by UIC. But that place, every time when I was in school, I would go there, get my burger, and go back to study. Like, it was a spot to go. That place basically fed me the whole 4 years.
Yeah?
Yeah, literally.
Let's go. I think I ate rice. What did I eat in high school? I think I ate the minute cups of rice and biscuits and honey. All through high school. What else? There had to
Lunch of champions right there.
Yeah, dude. There had to be at least some source of protein. But I was like 140 pounds all through high school.
Yeah, I feel you. Me too.
Yeah, I was like small. Maybe I had bologna too. We were
bologna
cheap.
Sandwich. There you go.
Oh, dude, no, we were real cheap. It was probably like bologna. Right? It was either hot dogs and rice, bologna and rice, and then honey biscuits. And that was like all I ate, all we could afford. Yeah.
Have you ever tried having tostada with ketchup?
I'm not too familiar with the differences. So a tostada, is that like a taco, but it's got the bread?
So it's basically a taco, but hard.
Okay.
A hardened taco.
But isn't it like a slice of pizza taco?
Similar.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? It looks almost like this.
Yes. It looks like that, yeah.
Kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
So I just had like one of those like for the first time
nice.
ever.
Yeah.
And it was from a place right down the road.
Okay, nice.
And it was fire. It was phenomenal.
Yeah. Growing up for me, I just had tostada and ketchup on top.
Yeah?
That's it. I'll just eat it like that.
Okay, that doesn't sound bad.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it doesn't sound bad whatsoever.
It's fire.
I liked the hot dogs, mac and cheese a lot growing up.
Yes.
Just cut up hot dogs.
Kraft
Mac and cheese.
Sir.
I think that'll probably forever go down in history as the best mac and cheese in the world. It's probably just all chemically crafted.
Basically, yeah.
Horrible for you, but I absolutely loved. I'm a sweet tooth guy. Horrible sweet tooth.
So what's your favorite candy?
I'm a dessert, so I'm more of a. I love acai. I love yellow Gatorade. Really any desserts. More so like not the chocolates. Cookie skillets. Cookie skillet, like skillet cookies. Anything like that. Anything in a skillet dessert. You know, with a good vanilla ice cream is like definitely a go-to. Lemon meringues, coconuts.
Have you tried the acai bowl at Lifetime yet?
I haven't, because there's one I really love, and I like don't want to like waste my taste buds if it doesn't compare. Okay. Is it really good? Does it have good reviews?
You gotta get the Rafa style, my style. Yeah, the way I made it. Yeah, I made it differently.
How do you make it?
So originally they get the acai, they blend it, and then they pour it out, in the real bowl. Me, I kept the acai balls intact. Yes. So that's how I kept it, like a ball, like ice cream, literally. Yes. And then I'll put the coconut, the granola, the strawberries, the blueberries, all nice and aligned. Then I'll get chocolate isolate protein, drizzle it on top, put the peanut butter on top. You can put cinnamon on it, and then you're set.
Yeah, that sounds fire. I do. I keep peanut butter and honey, and then I just order a little acai bowl off DoorDash. Yeah, and a little bit of granola, peanut butter, and honey, and that's it.
There you
go. I do miss the coconut though. Good coconut flakes is fire for the acai.
Yeah, it is.
You shouldn't go without it. So dope. What about anything else on the top of your mind that you want to share, talk about, dive into, share with the audience?
Yeah, for me, it'd be like your company, man. Like, I've seen it. Like, the past year, like, I seen your guys always talk about it. I see you talk about it all the time. I'm kind of interested about it,
Yeah, so I've been selling life insurance since I was 18 years old, and then I got a franchise ownership opportunity almost 2 years ago. And with us, what sets us aside from any other franchise is you don't buy this franchise, you earn a franchise opportunity. So you like earn a slot based off of results. You know what I mean? So did very well my first 2.5, 3 years, earned a slot and got to partner with my previous owner, Simon Arias, and he comes out once a quarter. You guys see him, if you're there. And he looks like Pitbull, you know what I mean? So he's bald. Yeah. And bring him in. So but yeah, we've been partnered out here now for 2 years, and it's life insurance industry is pretty simple. Well, specifically with our company, it's very simple. We just sell the life insurance product, and it's very, very simple product. Yeah. So we don't do a lot of complexity in regard to like our products and what it is we have to offer, where some other companies and like brokerages do. Yeah. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I always see. I forgot his name.
Rob.
Yeah. 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 I see him. Now I see last year the guy with the curly hair. I forgot what his name was.
Kind of like African looking.
Yes.
Yeah, his name was MJ.
MJ, yes, yeah. I remember MJ.
He went into solar.
Always. I remember. I seen him. I follow him on Instagram still. Yeah. I see him. I'm like, what is this guy doing now?
Yeah,
like,
he went into solar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember MJ.
Cool kid.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I love sales. I think everybody should get into sales. I always tell everybody, life is 100% commission. You're gonna get into this life you're going to get out of this life what you put into this life. Yeah. And so I always tell people, it's like, maybe you're not being compensated for it, but I would certainly choose to be compensated for it, because you're going to be treated and you're going to build your life in correspondence with what you put into it. You're already on a 100% commission life. You might as well just set your compensation up to match it.
Exactly.
So I tell everybody they should, go into the entrepreneurial world, go build a business, you know what I mean? And go get into sales, whatever it might be, because you already are getting paid 100% commission. Yeah. You know what I mean? The value you bring to the world, to the circle that you're in is directly what you're going to get, if not more, and value that you receive.
Yeah. But do you think that people don't get into sales or don't get into entrepreneurship because they think that the market is saturated nowadays?
I think that would be a perspective, but I think for a majority, it starts in the mind. I think it's just a lack of proper thinking. I think there's a lot of short-term thinking, and more so, I don't want to say mediocre thinking. I just think it's non-open-minded thinking. And it's not necessarily anybody's fault, more so a culture and a segment of society. Because anybody that you talk to making $500,000 plus a year, their children and that whole group, their circle, and this is a 20%. You know what I mean? Top 20%. Yeah. that top 20% is a night and day difference as soon as you go 1 percentile below. Yep. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's all got to get an education. You got to get an education. Yep. You've got to follow, you know, these systems and these procedures, and or you've got to find a great job opportunity, whatever it might be. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with that way of thinking. What is wrong is not to be open-minded. If there was an opportunity for you to get more out of less, because how can you make more and do it in less time? Because that should be everybody's goal. Right. Is how can we make, because time is the most valuable commodity that we all have. So how can I get more out of this time than that process or doing it that way? Like it doesn't have to all of us be doing the same exact thing. And so I think it starts with the culture and the society and people really just being humble enough to open their minds. And it's like, is this something that over time I could do to generate more results and more income in comparison to just being placed in a set wage or whatever it might be. Yeah. So it's all perspective. It starts with the mindset.
Yeah. So do you think that like our generation, I feel we're kind of like in that generation that like, all right, we don't want to work that 9 to 5 anymore, you know? Yeah. Kind of like I feel that everyone I'm around nowadays wants to be the entrepreneur. Yeah. They want to be their own boss, you know? But it also comes to the point where like, if we're all doing that, then it's like, how are we all making that revenue? How are we all generating that money, you know? Yeah. So my biggest question for you is like, what do you think about people that are wanting to start that business like today, for example? What's like your biggest advice for them?
Yeah. Well, one, make sure you have a product or a service that can be bought. Like not only that can be bought, more so that is desired. Like, is it desired or absolutely needed? Life insurance is absolutely needed.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's, you know, show me anybody that's gone through death and the financial expenses associated with that, regardless of how wealthy you are, because tax is associated with death. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. They're gonna take a percentage of whatever that individual's equity or their net worth was. Death is inevitable, and the expenses with it are inevitable as well. And nobody saves for death. So it's an absolutely needed product. So what is it that you offer, and how desirable is it? So the ability for you to market and scale a company will directly correspond with the desirability. Yeah. How desirable is it?
Right, I agree.
That would be my advice is get into business, but let's make sure this shit is, and it doesn't have to be something complicated. Yeah. It's, you know, what makes your fitness company more desirable than Lifetime? Yeah. Right? Because Lifetime is extremely desirable. You got a hot tub, you got a cold tub, you know, you've got a luxury, right? You got a luxury facility. Yeah. So what can you do as an early entrepreneur to be even more desirable? My immediate thought would be, well, I'll just have a more personable experience. Yeah. You know, it'll be more of a hands-on, we'll have more free shit, and that'll be how we will scale until we have the profitability to invest back into our business to have hot tubs and cold tubs and, you know, the state-of-the-art facility like Lifetime.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I know for the biggest part of me, I was thinking of is when I'm coming into any environment, like let's say I'm coming to life insurance, coming to fitness, how you said earlier, what value do I bring? Yes. You know, if I don't bring any value to you, then obviously you're not going to sell that product, you know? Yep. And for a lot of people out there, I feel that they don't have that mindset yet of, oh, I have this value, because they've never been told like how valuable they really are. So what I want to tell people is like, make sure that you surround yourself, like going back to full circle here, that is like, you got to make sure that your first 5 people around you, your small circle, they all push each other, you know? Yeah. Everyone's pushing each other to become better. Yeah. Everyone's not like bringing you down. There's no negative comments there. It's all positivity, you know? And that's why I want people to know, like, you got to be positive with yourself first. Because if you're not positive with yourself, you're never going to know your value. You're never going to know your worth. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, 1,000% agree. You going to watch UFC tonight?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah? Who you got winning?
I can't say yet. Yeah? I usually wait until like an hour before, dude. Yeah? Yeah. I'm like a late better. Yeah? I like bet super late now.
Oh, I don't bet at all.
You don't bet at all?
No.
Oh, man. Dude, you got to start betting.
No.
All those trainers were like betting fanatics.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I get that vibe. Tommy's always asking me like all these different sports questions, and I'm like, I have no idea, dude.
It's a rabbit hole, though. Once you start, it goes down.
It was like, nah, I'm not going to bet on this.
It's like, well, you know Marco, right?
Which one's he?
Piemonte? Marco?
No, who's
He's
he?
A member here at Lifetime?
I probably do. Sometimes I'm not the best with names.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you see him, you'll recognize him. But he has a new partnership with Better, the new Better app. Yeah. So he works with like Jake Paul and all of them. Yeah. And his new app just launched like last week.
Does he work out early with us?
Around like 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Coming a little later than you. Yeah. So he's around the 10 o'clock ish, and he just made a bet yesterday with Jake Paul, and he won $250,000.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. What's he drive?
Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce. Oh, he's got the white Rolls Royce?
Yes, him.
Oh, tell him to get on the podcast. I've talked to him.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, tell him, because I very rarely see him.
Yeah.
Because we work out at different times.
Yeah, exactly.
But let him know. Yeah, I would love to get him on. He owns a dealership.
Yes.
Yes.
Piemonte dealerships, yep.
Okay, yeah, dude, I got to get him on. I love that Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
So my partner just got a Rolls Royce.
Nice.
Show it to you.
Yeah.
Dope, dude.
So you got a white one?
What would you say?
You got a white one too?
He has a black one.
Nice.
What were your favorite video games?
Oof.
What was the best Call of Duty?
Modern Warfare 2, hands down.
There's down.
No other one.
Aiden, did you play Call of Duty?
I played like up to first Black Ops.
Which one was your favorite?
I just like that first Black Ops game.
That was actually
Black Ops 1 was Black Ops.
Yeah.
I liked Black Ops 2 Zombies though.
I don't know. Black Ops 1 Zombies is just ingrained in me.
Yeah, well, because it's just it's an OG.
Yes,
you know what I mean. It's the original shit. What was your favorite map?
Rust.
Rust?
Yeah.
Now, that's not a zombie map.
Not a zombie map, no.
What was your favorite zombie map?
Favorite zombie map will be Kino.
Kino? That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like, that one, I would just run the train the whole time.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Oh, see, I think I sucked with the train. I like the one, where was the one where you start out where the turbine spins?
Oh, that's Ascension.
Ascension.
Yeah.
I liked Ascension.
The Ascension glitch is iconic.
Which one was the glitch?
So you get on the little, the turbo tub thing that flies you up. You get on the edge of it, and it's on the outside station where it's at. You get on the edge, it launches you up in the air, and then you could jump off onto the roof, and then the zombies cannot touch you. You're stuck on the roof. You can just spray them down. You can be there all day long.
Wow.
Yeah. That glitch was iconic.
Jesus. Here's Simon's Rolls Royce. So he got the black one.
Oh, he does look like Pitbull.
Yeah, see? And that's that's his main headquarters out there in Pittsburgh. But yeah, dude, I think Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, nothing will ever. I haven't played anything really since those.
I can tell you, nothing's compared.
Nothing?
Nothing compared.
I would like to see more of like, you know what I really liked was Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, dude, Red Dead Redemption is so good.
Did they ever come out with the second one?
Yes, it did.
How was that one?
It's really good.
When did that come out?
2017. Yeah.
Okay, then I did play Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a third one then.
Yeah.
Because I really like the Red Dead Redemptions. Yeah, they had a good, I think I played like once or twice, like online. Yeah. Even that was kind of fun.
The online Red Dead is fun.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
That's fun.
Yeah, I'd always see like TikToks or back in the day, whatever, little streams and shit like that. The Vines. Yeah, that shit was funny. Dope. What was your favorite game? Modern Warfare 2, or do you have a favorite game outside of that?
Outside of Modern Warfare 2, it would be the Sly Cooper series.
Sly Cooper series?
Yeah.
Was that like back in the day, like on the PlayStation 2?
PS2, yeah.
Did you play Sly Cooper?
I don't think so. No.
PS2. No. Do you have PS2?
No, I had Xbox 360.
Okay.
You went straight to Xbox 360?
Yeah.
Oh. What'd you do before Xbox 360?
I just got a 360.
Wow. That's different.
Were you an outside kid?
No, I had like a DS before.
You know what I did have before my dad went to jail? I had a Game Boy.
Yes, dude.
I had a Game Boy and a PSP.
Yes, PSP. Dude, PSP was slept on.
Yeah, PSPs were slept on.
I agree.
Yeah, so I had the Game Boy with the Incredible Hulk.
Oh my God.
Or no, not the Incredible Hulk. The Incredibles.
The Incredibles?
Yeah. So that was a fun ass game.
Yeah.
I remember I think before I got an Xbox 360, I think we got a Wii when I was like 12 or 13, and then I got an Xbox 360.
I remember
like 13 or 14.
Whoever had the Wii, I'm like, you're bougie.
Bougie.
I was like, you're bougie.
I was like, holy shit, dude, we got a Wii.
Yeah.
And then I like grew up and I was like, what the fuck? This Wii is a $200.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the Wii came with so many accessories.
Cheap as shit.
Had the wheel and everything, and all this other stuff.
Yeah, dude, Wii bowling and all that. Yeah. Shit was nuts. So what was the funniest thing that's ever happened to you? We'll wrap up with the funniest.
The funniest thing that ever happened to me, it was actually 2 years ago when I first dislocated my shoulder. So my left shoulder. And it was on Labor Day weekend.
First
time.
You've done it many times?
It's happened 2 other times now.
Dog, that is not good. Shoulder injuries are like not to be messed with.
They're the worst.
Messes your whole body up.
It does.
So what happened?
So I was swimming with my cousins.
Stop. You dislocated your arm swimming, bro? Stop. We gotta stop. Don't embarrass me. Cut the podcast off. The fuck?
Yeah, that happened. Yep.
So what happened?
So I'm just swimming, regularly. And out of nowhere, my cousin just decides to come backwards. And I'm like coming this direction. He's coming over here. He's walking back, and there's a wave coming in, and he's like jumping up. He jumps up. He like lands on me. I go backwards, and all I hear is like a pop.
Yeah.
I come back, And I'm just like, oh, it's whatever. And then I started walking out the water. My hand's like down here. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, why is this like this? And then I tried moving it up. I'm like, I can't bring it up. And then my other cousin, she starts screaming. She's like, ah. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, your shoulder. I'm like, what about it? It feels good. And I look at it and I'm just like, oh, it's not supposed to be like that. And everyone in the beach around me was like, oh my God, you okay? Are you okay? And in my head, I'm just like, yeah, I'll just pop it back in, whatever. Like I was trying to be cool, whatever. 10 minutes later, I start crying like a baby. The adrenaline all wore off. It was painful. So painful.
Fuck. Did you get it back in?
Yeah, I got it back in.
Okay, I was like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, I just popped it back in.
All right, and so that's what you've been doing. If it falls out, like 2-3 times.
Luckily, the chiropractors are there at Lifetime.
Okay.
So Dr. Shashank, when he was there at Lifetime, it popped off when I was playing basketball downstairs. And luckily he was there while we were playing. So I just grabbed my shirt, I bit my shirt. I'm like, all right, just pop it back in, and he just popped it back in for me.
Fuck that, dude.
So I try to stay away from anything like football, basketball, anything like that now. I can't really use my arms for anything because any excessive force is going to just pop out.
Did you see the new Illinois stuff where you can like kidnap and...
I did see that.
Burglar?
That's crazy.
I feel like it really ain't going to affect...
I mean,
it's not going to affect Oak Brook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be areas that are already doing that that'll just do it a little more.
Yep.
I'm a firm believer in most people don't want to hurt other people. And most people are pretty good.
But here's the thing, though. I feel like, well, especially here in Cicero, where I live, I am literally a block away from Chicago. So I walk down Roosevelt, I'm in Chicago. And it's a whole different neighborhood, like completely different. And I can see the switches when every day I drive over here to over there, the mindset, how people act is completely different. Man. So I do feel like this whole new law thing is going to affect us a lot, especially like in the urban areas.
And is, I don't want this to sound like too Wild West, but I think sometimes with like a bad kid, you have to let that bad kid kind of learn through their own mistakes. So like some of these areas that are just like excessive with crimes, sometimes maybe this might be a better approach of just like, hey, do whatever you guys want to do and you guys will figure it out. Because if you don't learn, you'll extinguish yourselves. But if you do learn, you'll elevate yourselves and you don't need babysat. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then, but it's like, yes, you know, some people, it's like, all right, you know, hopefully there's not like purge buses that come up.
That's the biggest thing. That's the meme I've been seeing. Like, oh, welcome to the purge.
Yeah. You know? It's like purge buses come up to Oak Brook.
Yeah.
But I think also with that, it's like, dude, I feel like there's probably good places in Sinaloa.
There is.
You know, it's
100%.
like, it's like if you can find places just as dangerous as Sinaloa and cartel areas.
I agree.
10, 15 minutes around here. You know what I mean? We're in a nice ass area. So it's like, you find trouble if you're looking for trouble.
That's the biggest thing of all time. Like anytime I go to Mexico, for example, like right now where I live in Mexico, it's a shit show right now. Like
I went to Punta Cana.
Oh, nice. Punta Cana's nice.
That's like a horrible reference to say. Like I went to Mexico. I was like, I went to Punta Cana.
Yeah, that's fine. No, and I went. My town. We're like 2 hours away from Guadalajara, so it's about a 2-hour drive. In between that 2-hour drive is literally like third world country.
Yes,
and it is like. People think about poverty and they're like, oh, like I'm broke over here. Like, no, you're not.
Stop saying
like,
that.
You're not broke.
Yeah,
like,
no.
You do not know what broke is.
No.
Honestly.
I went to Lima, Peru when I was 16. And I used to tell everybody, like, you know, like my parents went to jail. My mom got out. We lived on welfare and we wouldn't have food some days. And I would be like, we grew up in poverty. I went to Lima, Peru. And it didn't process with me until years later. But I can remember walking around and seeing what real poverty is.
Exactly.
Because it was a missions trip. So I didn't go to Lima, Peru for Machu Picchu or, you know, stuff like that over there. We went into these mountains where people lived. And there's not like tree mountains. I'm talking about a dirt mountain, not like a sand mountain. Like dirt, damp, moist, like no sun, trash, and like just deteriorated, like just life. And it's just death and it's gloomy. But these people are smiling.
They're happy.
They're happy. They're content. And the whole family lives in a mud hut. And you know, there's like one dish. There's like one big pot everybody cooks out of and like eats from their hands. And you know, I don't think there's like running water sources. Like you gotta go find water, and there's just dogs everywhere, and they all look the same and just bark and are kind of mean. You know what I mean? And nuts. And it's poverty. You know what I mean? It's like the homeless in America have a luxury life compared to, and that's freedom in a third world country. there are slaves out there still.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I hear weird stories about there's slaves still in America, you know what I mean, in some places. But there's places that I've heard of through podcasts and just, you just research it of like, in some of these dictatorships, North Korea, China, there's literal like millions of people enslaved.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know how can we even define or reference poverty in America when somebody literally does not have like any control over their life. You know what I mean? Like they're enslaved right now, and it's literally. Like we don't have it that bad.
No,
that's why I tell everybody get into sales.
Literally,
everybody's like, man,
going back to full circle.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's like maybe that's a horrible reference to. It's like at least you won't be enslaved. You know, it's like that's why you should work here.
Welcome.
But yeah, man, it's like that's why I'm like, dude, I'll go all in on myself and build for myself. Just because somebody overseas is in poverty, is going to die today, just doesn't have a fraction of the opportunity that I have. So I've got to do my due diligence of being a good human being. And like, I want to max out on my life and opportunity just in honor of those people that can't.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing I tell myself every time too. I'm like, I'm lucky that I was born here.
Right.
Like I'm so lucky. Like if I was born in Mexico where I'm from, I would not be in the same position at all. Like nowhere close to it. You know?
And then I hear that horrible story where like a trailer was trying to help immigrants pass over, and I know people have mixed feelings of like illegally coming. It's like, I think we're all human beings. I think there should be good systems in place for both. But if the roles were reversed, in America was Mexico, and we had way more third world country here, and we needed to go over to Mexico, we wouldn't be saying, what we say, like what some people say, like, don't let them over, don't let those aliens over. It's like, it's not an alien.
Exactly. It's a human being.
It's a human. Yeah. You wouldn't be saying that if it was your son.
Exactly.
If it was your son, you wouldn't be saying that crazy
Put yourself
shit.
in those shoes.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, and I agree there should be systems and things, but like, let's just try to build systems around what if it was your son.
Right.
Is my thoughts on that. But I saw this horrible thing in the news that just recently happened where it was like 50, 60 people got left in a hot trailer and they all died.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's sad.
Like, and I can't help but think, but they were willing to die to leave places. There's places out there people were willing to die. You know what I mean? Just to leave, and it's not that far. Like it's not like we have to fly across the sea. It's right just down. It's right down there. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's insane to me. When sometimes it's like when I catch myself complaining or feeling bad for myself, and I'm like, or other people, and I'm like, dog, someone out there would rather die. Yep. You know what I mean? Than live the life that they're living right now, and that ties into mental health too. Of right here in America, you hear the stories of. I hear once a day, it's like someone jumps off the Trump Tower or something like that. And it's like, it's like somebody's in a prison up here. Yeah. The only prison you can really be in is right here. Yeah. This is the master of poverty and imprisonment. And it's a lot, it's a lot.
And going back to third world country and how everything was going, the most beautiful thing is that even if they have no food, if you visit them, they'll give you a whole platter.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Oh my God. Yeah. Peru was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like even we were shacked up, bunk beds, and they fed us and treated us like kings. Colorful parrots everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful thing, right?
Dope.
And that's to me, I'm like, how could people be like so against like how you said people wanting to come to this country when they're so kind, when they're so nice?
Yeah.
Like all they want to do is be happy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I tried. So even running a business, I understand. You've got to run the world like a business, but there's a balance between, with any great leader, there's always a balance between contribution and companionship. Too much of one is too bad. You know what I mean? So it's like too much business focus, then there's no relationship. With no relationship, there's no trust. Yep. Too much relationship focus, there's no business, there's no production, and then ultimately people starve and die, and there's just inadequacies. But there's got to be a balance, and it's not that hard to just say, are we getting work done? But I want to remind you, I care about you. Are you okay? You know what I mean? So it's like, I think it's like we don't take it far enough when we try to defeat and diffuse racism and systemic racism within our cities, within our nation. And it's like, why don't we take it a step further and just stop even defining it as racism and looking at it as like humanism? Like, why are we not treating people like humans?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't care, black, white, Mexico, Asia. It's like, you're a human being. Right. My political beliefs are as long as you're not hurting somebody,
there you go.
Do what you want to do. If you're like, as long as your religion, your beliefs aren't hurting lives, do what you want to do.
Yeah,
you know
I agree,
what I mean?
man.
So it's like, I feel like we overcomplicate, but I also don't apply my business film and perspective of like, let's break down the numbers. So I don't want to just give that generic answer of like, well, we should just do this and it'll fix everything. But I do think I generally just share, because people are always like, well, why aren't you like active politically or speak more about it? It's like, because it's my shit's real simple. I just feel like if you don't hurt nobody, do what you want to do.
Exactly.
You know, I don't care what you want to call yourself or who you are, what you want to do.
Yeah, and that doesn't sell.
Right?
You know, that's the big part. That doesn't sell.
Yeah, controversy sells.
Yes, exactly.
Crazy.
Exactly.
I got to head to my next appointment.
Okay.
Is there anything else you wanted to add? This was dope. Hour long.
Thank you, man.
This was great. Thank you.
I love this opportunity. I just want to say thank you, man, for everything and bringing me on board, you know?
Yeah.
And for sure, once I open up my first podcast, you'll be the first guest.
Let's go. I'd love to be.
Yeah.
I'd love to be. Zero Talk Podcast. Make sure you guys pre-subscribe.
Yes,
Coming
sir.
soon. Let's go.
Absolutely.
And shout out my man, Aiden Hill. Make sure you guys give him a follow on the IG. Peace out.
Adios.